The fan-beloved game studio Bethesda has been working on the upcoming sci-fi RPG Starfield for quite some time now. With it being the next major project after their massive hit Elder Scrolls V: Skyrim, fans have been eager to get their hands on Starfield. But more importantly, they have been comparing Starfield to Skyrim. Starfield has a lot to live up to when compared to Skyrim, so let's dive in and see if it'll be able to surpass it. The Legend of Skyrim. Undoubtedly, Starfield has a lot to live up to. Although Skyrim was released in 2011, it is relevant to this day. It was the game for its time. Many players were introduced to the world of open-world RPG through Skyrim, and have had many of their best moments lived in that game. It was able to win the VGX award for Studio of the Year, as well as the award for Best RPG. Although some people might not believe in these awards, the sheer number of units sold, 20 million, is a great testament to Skyrim's success. Skyrim was a huge step in the gaming industry back when it was released. It was the first game to truly immerse players into its, at the time, massive open world. With many side activities to get lost in, players were constantly discovering and living through new moments. The RPG element of the game made it highly replayable, with each playthrough being drastically different from the other. Not only that, but Bethesda did a great job of leveraging the success of Skyrim by making sure no one could escape its influence. It has been re-released on almost every platform out there, from the old-gen consoles like PS3, Xbox 360, to PS4 and Xbox S, and even the Nintendo Switch. The game has managed to stay relevant in every generation. In fact, there is even a running joke that Skyrim could even run your fridge. And for some reason, that does not surprise us. The things just discussed are merely the tip of the iceberg. We haven't even touched on the mod community of the game, the various parodies, memes, and YouTube content that surround the game. Regardless, it can be clearly said that Starfield has a lot to live up to. What we know of Starfield. Now coming on to Starfield, there's not much we know, so making direct comparisons could be quite tough. However, we can still go on to speculate whether it will surpass Skyrim with the limited information that we do know. So what do we know? Announced in E3 2018, Starfield is set to be yet another RPG, but set in space. It is Bethesda's next project, and a completely new IP made to stand alongside with the well-known series Elder Scrolls and Fallout. However, that is all we were told until E3 2021, when a teaser trailer was dropped. The trailer was a cinematic of what might be our protagonist, roaming around in his spaceship and preparing for its launch. We got to see a few weapons and the space-like atmosphere, but as it is only a cinematic trailer, it does not reflect the true colors of the game. There have not been any confirmations or leaks of the story, but we do know that it is meant to take place 300 years into the future. The story involves a space organization called Constellation, which seems to be the future version of NASA. The director of Starfield, Todd Howard, calls them the last group of space explorers, which may hint towards an apocalyptic nature of the game. However, Howard's also confirmed that although Constellation would be the primary group, there would be other groups that the player may encounter and even join in their journey between the stars. Additionally, the game aims to explore big questions like, are we alone in the universe, or our purpose in the universe, and the role that religion may play in it. All of these factors are definitely building up the game to be intriguing and might even allow it to surpass Skyrim. But what is the game hoping to accomplish in terms of gameplay? Starfield's promising gameplay features. We have not received any gameplay footage as of yet, but there have been talks about it in interviews. One main feature that has been confirmed in Starfield is the character creation. The official Starfield site states that players will be able to create any character that they wish for and explore with unparalleled freedom. That's definitely a step in the right direction, as what players really loved about Skyrim was the freedom that it brought them. And with modern RPGs like Elden Ring and even Cyberpunk 2077, not having a character creation feature would almost feel like a crime. However, Starfield seems to be taking the concept even further, as in an interview with Launcher, Todd Howard stated that you will also be able to choose your character's background. These additional customization features will affect how your character's story unfolds. This definitely gives Starfield the edge over Skyrim. Furthermore, Howard described Starfield as Skyrim in space. The managing director, Ashley Cheng, stated that you will be able to get on a ship, explore the galaxy, and do fun stuff. Additionally, fans that either love first-person or third-person perspectives will all enjoy the game, as both perspectives are possible in Starfield. Starfield is hoping for a more immersive world. One major reason why Skyrim was so successful was due to the many options that players had in the open world. There was no linear path. If you want to fight a dragon, you can do that. Do you want to rob someone's precious items from their homes? Sure, you can do that too. Well, as long as you're careful about the guards, that is. If Starfield wants to surpass Skyrim, it will need to keep that theme and expand upon it. So far, Starfield has managed to showcase just that. Players can be expected to encounter NPCs such as humans, aliens, and even robots. This was partially hinted at in the cinematic trailer, where there was a note on a blackboard. The note was for a robot named Vasco, asking them to pick up some tranquility with some rather specific instructions not to go decaf. Well, Vasco, hope you don't mess that up. Additionally, Howard stated that they are hoping to create a world that invites players to interact with and push its boundaries. They do not want a world in which you are told simple things like do this, do that, go there, and fight that. They want players to be more imaginative and curious. If a player wants to pick up an item, they should be able to do that. If a player wants to explore an area, they should be able to do that. If a player wants to perform any form of action, the game should allow them to do that too. It's quite an ambitious goal, but Bethesda is known to push the boundaries of already existing video games, so we can expect them to crush it with Starfield as well. Starfield has more dialogues than Skyrim. Skyrim was an RPG game with many quest lines and various dialogues. In fact, that seems to be the trend with many RPG games. Look at Witcher 3 for example. Some fans even started complaining that there was too much dialogue in the game. However, more dialogues can also mean more quest lines, more intriguing stories, and overall, a more lively world. Therefore, Starfield has yet another edge over Skyrim, as it has not just doubled the amount, but tripled the amount of dialogue. With 150,000 lines of dialogue, we better prepare ourselves for some epic tales to come. The figure 150,000 might not mean much on its own, but when compared to Fallout 4's 110,000 lines and Cyberpunk 2077's 100,000 lines, it seems like an outstanding number. Not only that, but the game also follows Bethesda's largest translation effort ever, as they have hired over 300 voice actors for a complete Japanese localization, though it is worth noting that you will not actually be going through all 150,000 lines of dialogue. Starfield is an RPG after all, so there will be quite a lot of branching dialogue, and even those which you can miss altogether. Regardless, it seems as if Bethesda may have worked on quite an ambitious story for us, and we can't wait to dive in. The limited reach of Starfield. There is one area where Starfield seems to be lacking behind as compared to Skyrim, and that is the reach of Starfield. As mentioned earlier, one of the major reasons Skyrim was so popular was because it could be played on practically anything. However, Bethesda has decided to shift away from that philosophy, as Starfield will only be accessible to players on Xbox and PC. Fans have speculated that the reason behind this exclusivity is partially due to Microsoft's acquisition of Bethesda back in March 2021. After the deal, it was made clear by the head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, that Xbox consoles, PC, and Game Pass will be the best place to experience the new Bethesda games, therefore making some of the new titles in the future exclusive to the mentioned platforms. And it appears as if Starfield is first in line to get that exclusive treatment. This may be good news for Xbox gamers, as Bethesda can solely focus on optimizing the game for Xbox and PC. However, it is definitely not good for all those die-hard PlayStation Bethesda fans. Regardless, Starfield has managed to introduce some interesting features as of now, and it may well pass Skyrim. We'll just have to wait for more information for a definite conclusion. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think Starfield will surpass Skyrim? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.